Good morning and welcome. I should wait for the response. I should know that. And welcome to the Unitarian Universalist, I almost said Fellowship, Congregation of Wilmington. I'm your Vice President, Jimmy Reeves, and I'm excited to say that we begin our pledge journey today. Although if you looked out in the vestibule, we've got a thermometer, and we're already a third of the way. Almost $90,000 so far. So far. Thank you all. This is wonderful. I'm so pleased to be joining Reverend Kelley Wheat Rivers, our Associate Minister, on the chancel this morning. We welcome you to our worship service, whether in this sanctuary or joining us online. We hope that in this congregation and sacred space, you will be strengthened by spiritual encouragement and find comfort from those who join with you in worship. As we enter worship, please take a moment to verify that your cell phones are muted if you're here in the sanctuary. If you're online, don't worry about it.
Good morning. We missed our cue because somehow the PA out in the sanctuary, the vestibule was not working out. So, la voila, the best laid plans. Good morning again. Oh, it is our pleasure to introduce you to our settled minister candidate, Alyssa Lee. She sent along a video to tell you a bit about herself. And what? I'm so excited. And then we have Kelley also. Oh, Dan, could you go ahead and play the message? Here she comes. Good.
Hello, my name is Alyssa Lee, and my pronouns are she or they. And I am so excited to possibly be the next settled minister for your congregation. I heard that you are kicking off your pledge drive today, and I just want to wish you good luck with that. I can't wait to hear more about it. And I will say that one of the things that drew me to your congregation was hearing about your generous spirits and your care for one another and your deep commitment to your congregation and to your community. I've spoken to Reverend Cheryl and Reverend Kathy several times, and they both told me what a warm, welcome, and inviting congregation you are. They also highlighted the social justice work that you've done and your deep passion for your congregation. We heard about how you stepped up and really did the work of the interim, and also how you particularly stepped up when Reverend Kathy went to part-time, and I think that's awesome. I felt like I really clicked with the search committee, which felt like a mini version of your congregation, and through them I saw a passion for creative worship, thoughtfulness around membership engagement, heart for young people in the congregation, and an excitement about co-creating a ministry together. I also spoke with Reverend Lisa Garcia Sampson, and she told me how impressed she was about the social justice work that you all are doing. A little bit about me. I'm originally from the Oklahoma City area, but I've been living in the Metro West Boston area of Massachusetts for about 2.5 years. I'm currently the minister for a small congregation in central Massachusetts. I live here with my husband, Eric, and my 8-year-old son, George. This is a second career for me. I am a former attorney. I primarily worked for state governments, working on civil rights and employment issues. I was also a legislative liaison for a number of state agencies working at the state capitol. I was also very involved in my local UU church in Oklahoma City, as well as having a background, I will say, in evangelical Christianity and Catholicism. But while I was at the UU congregation, I developed a deep passion for community organizing work and really working on local issues that affect our community and the families in them. So I'm excited to continue doing that work there in Wilmington with all of you. I find a lot of my spirituality in poetry, so hopefully you like poetry or can tolerate it, because that's what you're getting when you get me. I also find a lot of spiritual depth in being at the beach and walking in nature. I will say that my family, we're kind of big old nerds. We love movies. I am a big Anglophile, so I love British murder mysteries and a British panel show. Probably don't want to ask me about Taskmaster because I will talk your ear off about it for about 30 minutes. We love board games and just generally spending time with other people. And I just can't wait to get to meet all of you. I think it's going to be a really good fit for all of us. And I'm just excited for my family and I to visit you all in May. So looking forward to it. And I hope you have a great rest of your Sunday.
What we were so taken with from our first meeting with Alyssa was her great ideas, her comfort level and engagement with all of us as individuals, and her enthusiasm for who we are as a congregation. You may have heard from Alyssa in that video, among other things, the word possibly being our minister. What makes that possibly a definitely is all of us. We are all an integral part of the final stages of the settled minister search. The members and friends of this congregation will meet Alyssa during the week of May 12th through May 19th. She'll give a sermon on each Sunday, and during the week there will be meetings and get-togethers, which will give you an opportunity to envision her as our next full-time minister. There will be at least one Zoom option for members unable to join us in person, and after the second sermon, a special congregational vote will take place. The tremendous response to our cottage meetings and congregational survey last fall fill us with confidence that we will bring the same commitment and consideration to this important task before us. We'll be sending out special informational emails on the process, our candidate, and the events which will be occurring that week. There is so much more to come. Thank you.
Well, that happened out of order, but it was a good thing to happen, wasn't it? Kind of sets the tone. Sets the tone. At this time, we'd like to invite visitors or folks who have been away for a while to introduce yourself or reintroduce yourself. If you're on Zoom, you may drop a line in the chat box. There you go, Raleigh. Anyone on my left want to introduce yourself? We are a friendly bunch. Anyone in the center? Yeah, could you stand so we can all see you? Great.
I'm Lulu. These are my friends from college. And I'm a Unitarian Universalist from Richmond, Virginia. And so I'm trying it out down here. Yes.
Welcome, Lulu and friends. Yay!
I'm Jennifer Thilo. This is Catherine Thilo. We're from the Atlanta area, but we have a condo in Carolina Beach, so we always come when we're here.
Oh, great. Anyone else?
I'm Danielle, this is Emerson, and this is my mom. We're moving to the Leland area.
Yay! Welcome, Danielle, and was it
Emerson.
Emerson?
She's in the right place.
She's in the right place. Right. Anyone else? Anyone on this side? Over here? Great. Thank you for sharing worship with us this morning. In your digest, you will find announcements for some of the many activities happening in our congregation. If you aren't getting the digest, you can request to receive it at the welcome table. It comes out Thursdays by email. You can also view it and our past digests at our website using the About/newsletter link. Finally, there's a calendar of events posted on the wall on your way to Dobkin Hall, which is in the back of the building. Now, Gary Barnes, chair of the Generous Life team, will give us an introduction and overview of the pledge drive.
That search team is a tough act to follow. I almost left. Good morning. My name is Gary Barnes, and I am the chair of the Generous Life team. The other Generous Life team members are Heidi Kaufman, Barbara Williams, Scott Armstrong, and Mark Gentner. I also want to recognize Beth O'Connell, who is the former chair of the GLT, Kim Scott, John Grigsby, and Dennis McCulley, who have generously been consultants to this committee all year. Today marks the beginning of our annual pledge drive for the fiscal year beginning on July 1st. In the next few weeks, we will be encouraging each of you to pledge your financial support for our church for the next fiscal year. Our goal for the pledge drive this month is $260,000, which represents 90% of the $290,000 we need for the full year in pledges and donations. And as Jimmy mentioned, as you enter the church this morning, you'll see a pledge thermometer in the foyer. Every week as you come in, you'll be able to track the progress that we have made by looking at the thermometer. And as he also mentioned, we've already raised $87,526, or 33% of our goal for this month. And those of you who made those pledges, thank you very much. The theme for this year's campaign is Just Imagine. Rather than think about what it takes for our congregation to survive, we want each of you to imagine what it means for our church to thrive. And what you can do to help make this happen. You lose your place if you take your eyes off it. After several years of COVID and 2 years of not having a settled minister, we are at the doorstep of a new chapter in the life of this congregation. Already we are seeing remarkable growth in membership, which has grown by 23 new members in the last year. We're also seeing long-needed repairs and improvements to our buildings, ensuring that we have a facility that we all can be proud of. And after 2 years, it looks like we're about to install a new settled minister in July. With all of these recent improvements in place, we now turn our attention to our future. How exciting it is to think about not just surviving, but thriving as we build towards our future. There are new costs associated with this progress, and our proposed expense budget is approximately 16% higher than our current budget. Reaching the pledge amount is the key to our ability to thrive. The money each of us pledges largely pays for our new minister and our associate minister, our church administrator, our choir director, our music program, and our religious educators, as well as the cost of maintaining and improving our facility. Our financial support also makes possible our social justice efforts, bringing a critical progressive voice to the struggle for compassion, equality, and diversity in our broader community. During these times when we see so many of the gains that our country has made over the past decades being rolled back, our church can represent an important voice to promote social justice for all. I know that many, if not all of us, share a deep fear of what is happening in our country today, and it is more important than ever to stand up and fight for the values that Unitarian Universalism represents. Ultimately, how our congregation thrives and how we focus our resources in the future rests with each and every one of us. We are a pluralistic and diverse community. We encourage and welcome the voice of every church member. Today, after the service, we would like to invite everyone to join us in Dobkin Hall for food and mimosas. Have a few of those to make your pledge.
Smart.
When you get there, you will see on the monitor some questions we would like you to consider, asking for your ideas on what it means to thrive as a congregation. There are post-it pads and pens for you to record your ideas, and we ask that you then post them to the large white sheets of paper that are hanging on the walls, both in Dobkin Hall and in the hall leading to the sanctuary. Your ideas will then be gathered and shared with the congregation, our board, and our ministers. Each of you should have received a pledge letter in the mail by now. If you haven't, or if you need another copy, please stop by our table in the foyer for a new pledge form. Completed pledge forms may be dropped off at the table or the office, or it can be mailed. I would also direct you to our website where you can make a pledge online with the form provided there. You also have received a suggested Fair Share Contribution Guide, which is a resource recommended by the Unitarian Universalist Association. Please know that this guide is just a tool that may or may not be useful, depending on each of our resources. Not everyone is able to contribute at these levels, and others may choose to contribute far more than the suggested amount. However much you are able to give, both your financial support and future volunteer support are truly appreciated. In closing, I want everyone here and on Zoom to remember why they joined this congregation. For my wife Kim and myself, a strong Unitarian Universalist community in Wilmington was a significant factor in choosing to relocate here from upstate New York. We are building new friendships that we will treasure for the rest of our lives. People who share our progressive values and our commitment to the principles of Unitarian Universalism. We choose to pledge because we need this congregation. And we believe that now, more than ever, it is essential that we join our voices with others to stand up for what is right. I hope you feel the same way, and that you will join us in pledging generously for the future of our church. Thank you.
Raleigh's back.
She likes an entrance.
Thanks, Gary. And I'm proud to announce that everyone, every single one of us on the Board of Directors, Board of Trustees, has submitted their pledge for 24-25. And now Peter Rowich has a comment or two to make.
I have been a member of this congregation for almost 5 years and a Unitarian Universalist for 43 years. There are several ways that I put my faith into action, and one way is through my social justice work. I co-founded Love Our Children to keep 5-, 6-, and 7-year-olds learning in school by eliminating out-of-school suspensions for minor behavior problems for 5-, 6-, and 7-year-olds. 2 years ago, we successfully changed the New Hanover County School Board suspension policy. It was the first step to ending our local school-to-prison pipeline. For the past year, we've been working on giving parents of kindergarten, first and second grade students the right to participate in the pre-suspension process by having a principal call the parent before they make a determination to suspend a young learner. Currently, principals don't have to call parents until after their child has been suspended from school. For us, this has meant 12 months of organizing, making signs, buying props, and showing up at every school board meeting. There's so much to do. The fact is, putting faith into action is messy work. It can be inconvenient, time-consuming, make you uncomfortable, and even cost some extra money. Which brings me to another way I put my faith into action. My wife, Stacy Kitt, and I make an annual pledge to this congregation. We value this community and the opportunities it provides us to nurture friendships, make music, and work together to build a better future for our children and their children. Putting faith into action requires us to be relentless, and we must be relentless to get the outcomes we desire. The next New Hanover County Board of Education meeting is in 2 days. That's Tuesday, April 9th. Love Our Children will again ask the board to give our youngest learners the right to have a parent participate in the pre-suspension process. It's an opportunity for our congregation to show up for justice as we take another step towards dismantling a racist and oppressive discipline system. And yes, I will be singing a new song to the school board. I have flyers I can pass out later. I invite you to put your faith into action and join us on Tuesday night. And make your annual pledge today. Thank you.
You're too tall, Peter. You know, I marvel every day at the quality of the people who make this place run. I just do. Holly, our administrative assistant, Reverend Kelley, our associate minister, and our wonderful choir director, Andrew Hurst, and the wonderful pianists that we have, the 4 great pianists that come every week. That's all part of what keeps this congregation alive and thriving, and so does the pledges that you all make. And I did want to also mention briefly that your pledge is your business. None of us on the board know how much anybody gave. It is, in the old days, we used to. We'd actually go and say, you gave this much, we want this. We don't do that anymore. Your pledge is up to you, but please consider pledging what you can. The addition of Reverend Kelley as an associate minister takes us to a new level. Takes us to a new level. It means our new minister, when we vote her in, will have the help she needs to make it all work. So, enough proselytizing. And now let us take a moment to settle ourselves, to open our hearts and minds to what worship will bring to us this morning. At the sounding of the chimes, please let our spirits enter into a different space, a space of worship, of life, of love, of that which we hold sacred. May we take this time to grow our souls. Please join me in the unison chalice lighting in your order of service as Shelley Gentner lights our chalice. Beautiful. Love is the spirit of this church, and service its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. You want to announce the opening hymn?
Will you all please rise in body or spirit as we join together in our opening hymn? It's number 34 in the gray hymnal, but it'll also be projected on the screens. Except if you are a little one, I would like to invite all the kiddos up front for our story. If you have your cushion, please bring it with, but if you don't have a cushion, we have some extras. Yeah. Hello, Mr. Ernie. You're so fancy. Look at Zoe, she's so fancy. Everybody. I got a story for you, and the pictures are going to be up here, okay? It's called I Like Myself. I like myself. I'm glad I'm me. There's no one else I'd rather be. I like my eyes, my ears, my nose. I like my fingers and my toes. I like me wild. I like me tame. I like me different and the same. I like me fast. I like me slow. I like me everywhere I go. I like me on the inside too, for all I think and say and do. Inside, outside, upside down, from head to toe and all around. I like it all. It all is me, and me is all I want to be. And I don't care in any way what someone else may think or say. I may be called a silly nut or crazy cuckoo bird. So what? I'm having too much fun, you see, for anything to bother me. Even when I look a mess, that might be resembling here. Even when I look a mess, I still don't like me any less, 'cause nothing in this world, can change what's deep inside. And so, no matter if they stop and stare, no person ever, anywhere can make me feel that what they see is all there really is to me. I'd still like me with fleas or warts, or with a silly snout that snorts, or knobbly knees, or hippo hips, or purple polka-dotted lips, or beaver breath, or stinky toes, or horns protruding from my nose, or yikes, with spikes all down my spine and hair that's like a porcupine. I still would be the same, you see. I like myself because I'm me. Oh. All right, kiddos, we're gonna sing you to your class today. I hope you have an amazing time as we sing you out.
May the love of God surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go.
I would just like to say about the kids here. Okay, we're good. Okay, continue.
I will let the parade leave the premises. This is great. We have a responsive reading. Together in a sacred place. I guess I'm the leader. That would make you the congregation. So I will start. In this sacred place, we need not be alone. We seek a listening ear, a warm heart, open arms.
In this sacred place, we join together against the waves of negativity and oppression in our world.
We are a community of individual beings living our own lives, yet coming together now and then in joyous celebration of spirit and one another.
Our differences do not divide us. Rather, they are a source of interest and discovery. We need not think alike to love alike.
Here, joys are shared and sorrows comforted. We are seen and heard and believed.
My compassion overflows. Our hearts reach for others.
We are a gathering of like-hearted people, and here our hearts are filled. We hear the wisdom and counsel of our ministers and that of one another.
We have much to learn from each other. So many different colors of truths and ways and methods.
In this sacred place, may we find what our spirits desire and what our spirits need. May we be grounded in love and sharing.
In this sacred place, may we find acceptance and consideration. May our actions and words echo what we learn here.
Thank you. There are days we wish would never end because they're so wonderful. And there are days that cannot end too soon, for they are so hard. We take this time to recognize those good days and the hard ones. You are now invited to come to the front and light a candle or place a shell or river stone in the fountain. If you're online, please feel free to enter your personal joys and concerns in the chat box. As our friends come forward, let us sing our compassion to them with hymn number 123, Spirit of Life.
I'm going to light one more candle for the joys and the sorrows unacknowledged and acknowledged, but he's too little for the candle. The joys and the sorrows that are unacknowledged, but no less important. Will you all please join me in a time of prayer and reflection? Spirit of life, of love, of hope, and justice, we have been given a day that is unique from any other. We are connected, all of us, with each other and with the world. And really, we're connected in ways that are largely a mystery to us. We have been given gifts. We have experienced challenges, joys, sorrows, strengths, frailties. Some of these things we've already encountered, and others we've yet to discover. On this unique day, may we receive exactly what it is we need. Amen. Beginning in high school, I found a love for psychology. I loved learning about people's minds, how the brain worked, and what motivated us to do the things we do. It also helped me add some fantastic words to my word collection, like amygdala, hippocampus, medulla oblongata. Being adopted, I also appreciated the discussions and studies about nature versus nurture. And another concept that fascinated me from the get-go was Maslow's hierarchy of needs. This triangular diagram shows that how at our base level, we need to feel safe and have our basic needs met. As we move up the triangle, our needs move from being concrete things like food and shelter to needs for connections and relationships. The further up we go, the more amorphous our needs become. Maslow proposes that in these higher levels, we need things like self-esteem, respect, confidence. And eventually, at the highest level of self-actualization, this is where we focus on things like morality, lack of prejudice, creativity, and spirituality. When I became a parent, a phrase I heard often was, "The days are long, but the years are short." For me, this means that most days pass quickly and are full of tasks. Getting Emma to school on time, making sure I get my work done, figuring out with Dan what we're going to have for dinner, and seriously, having to figure that out every day feels excessive. Also, I have to take time to have moments of rest in the frenzy. I would say that many of my needs of my day are focused on the physiological and safety levels of Maslow's hierarchy. But once these needs are met, the deeper meaning in life comes from exploring the higher levels of needs. I want to feel loved and like I belong. I hope for connections with people where I can be my authentic self and that it's not only welcomed but celebrated. I want to work on my own internal and external prejudices and approach the world in a more loving way. Working on these deeper levels and interacting with the world like this takes intentionality. A concept I deeply value is the idea of thin places. Thin places are places of energy. They are sacred places where the veil between this world, the mundane, and the eternal or sacred is thin. The idea is hundreds of years old, and it's tied to Celtic Christianity. To declare a place a thin place is to name it as sacred. It is something that should be treated with reverence. There are places around the world that are often considered universally thin or sacred places, like Iona in Scotland, St. Peter's Basilica in Vatican City, the Blue Mosque in Istanbul. Universal thin places are where most anyone could go and feel something deeper, be moved spiritually. But then there are personal thin places. Places for each of us to be transported to a deeper place mentally and spiritually. Some of mine are the Labyrinth at the Church of the Servant here in Wilmington. It's a place to walk, meditate, and pray. Another personal thin place is wherever I can stargaze, especially at the beach, watching the stars and moonrise over the ocean. What would be your thin places? Where do you go to feel connected to something beyond yourself? This church is a thin place for me. And my hope is that it is one or can become one for each of you. I hope that this is a place where we can consider life on a deeper level, to think about and experience the interconnected web of humanity and all of life. A place where we can be our authentic selves, consider deeper questions in life like, what does it mean to be a good person? How do we live that out? What is justice? How can we make a difference and move for change? Something I find both freeing and nerve-wracking about our faith tradition is that we don't claim to have answers or truth with a capital T, but instead we make space to connect with like-hearted people and try to make a positive difference in the world. When I come here during the week, even if there are events and groups meeting, the sanctuary is often empty, and it is a peaceful place for me. There are times when I come sit in here with only the lights from the windows illuminating the space. It's quiet and lovely. And on Sundays, there's an amazing bustle that warms my extroverted heart, especially today. A phrase I've both heard and said is that this place is made sacred through our love. I don't want that phrase to become so rote that it loses its meaning, because there is a palpable difference between this room when I'm in solitude and when it's brimming with smiles and hugs and check-ins and connections and music and love, and both are sacred. My hope is that we can continue connecting with one another, that we can get to know each other on deeper levels and have meaningful conversations. I hope we will find people with whom we can be vulnerable. People who will ask questions about what we believe and help us develop our own answers to life's interesting and challenging ideas. I hope this church can sustain us spiritually and emotionally, both as a physical place to go and as a connection to the people here. And for it to sustain us, we have to sustain it. That's why we have our pledge drive. Pledge drive. I don't know if any of y'all have seen Finding Nemo 20 years ago movie, but they go, shark bait, ooh, ah, ah. And so in my head, I've been going, pledge drive, So, pledge drive. We have our pledge drive so that this faith community can continue its work of being a spiritual haven, as well as being a home base for all of us as we do the work of promoting justice and equity in the community and world at large. Our generous life team has asked us to consider what it would take not only to meet our basic needs, to survive, but to work for our higher aspirations and thrive and soar into a future where our progressive ideals can continue to grow.
Imagine what we could do with a thriving mentality. Imagine how we could grow. Imagine how we could deepen. Imagine how we could make a difference. Imagine. May it be so. Amen and blessed be. You guys are silly. Our closing hymn, I picked one that's unfamiliar, you're welcome. It's not difficult though. So please rise as you're willing and able and join me in number 86, Blessed Spirit of My Life. We got this. You may be seated.
For those of you who know me, yes, this is an iPad. Thanks to the great work of our STP team and your generosity, we recently donated $743.89 to the Harrelson Center. This particular share of the plate is personal to me because Bonnie Monteleone, who founded POP, which I'll tell you about in a minute, was my administrative assistant and continually took time to sail the Atlantic to find the gyres where all the plastic is and prove to us all how serious a problem it is. Are you aware that microplastics, extremely small, tiny particles of plastic, are found everywhere on our beaches, in our oceans, rivers, streams, and waterways? These particles are contaminating our food supply and threatening wildlife, marine life, and human health. Our Share the Plate recipient, Plastic Ocean Project, or POP, focuses on finding solutions to problems caused by plastic pollution. POP works on scientific research, conducts educational outreach programs, and has launched many initiatives like Trees for Trash, the Trees for Trash Project. POP works closely with UNCW, which includes a popular internship program for college and high school students. The students, absolutely. Just a word, I mean, Bonnie did a great job of convincing the chemistry faculty of how important her work was. And it was through her efforts that they now have a research lab at the facility down on the waterway. The POP students gain experience in research, and the Trees for Trash program has had a big impact on our local environment. POP commits to plant 1 tree for every 25 pounds of trash collected at their regularly scheduled cleanup. In 2023, with the help of their dedicated volunteers, nearly 7 tons of trash was removed from the area beaches, parks, and roadways, which means 555 trees will be planted.
Wow.
This effort prevents trash from clogging storm drains, which leads to flooding, and of course, removing debris keeps it out of the ocean. The website is plasticoceanproject.org. Please give generously. Would the ushers come forward to take the collection?
Jimmy,
Yes,
can I say something?
you sure can.
Hi, I'm 24.
It absolutely is. And it's an example, I just have to say, of how a university like UNCW can use grassroots people to create a really important research project. And so I say again, would the ushers come forward to take the collection?
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today.
Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for, and no religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace.
You might say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. Hope someday you'll join us, and the world will live as one.
Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger. A brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people sharing all the world.
You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will live as one.
From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. I just just told Jimmy that I wanted to do the gratitudes today because I feel there's so much to be grateful for. I am so grateful for our settled search team, the prospect of our new minister. I'm so grateful for the screens that we were able to have today and to use in these wonderful ways. I'm grateful for my spouse being the one that helped me make those screens do the things they were supposed to do. Thank you, Lisa, for your amazing playing. The prelude this morning had me transported. I'm so grateful for Jimmy Reeves. He has been the most amazing support and cheerleader for me in all these different ways. And when he told me he was going to be my worship associate, it's like, yes! I am just so grateful. Reverend Kathy would often tell us that liturgy literally means the work of the people, and there are so many people who make this place sacred. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And now, I'm going to close with our closing words. They are called "We Are One" by Hope Johnson. We are one, a diverse group of proudly kindred spirits, here not by coincidence, but because we choose to journey together. We are active and proactive. We care deeply. We live our love as best we can. We are one, working, eating, laughing, playing, singing, storytelling, sharing, rejoicing, getting to know each other, taking risks, opening up, questioning, seeking, searching, trying to understand, struggling, making mistakes, paying attention, asking questions, listening, living our answers, learning to love our neighbors, learning to love ourselves, apologizing and forgiving with humility, and being forgiven through grace, creating the beloved community together. We are one.
Thank you, Kelley. Reverend Kelley. Damn. Please join us as we extinguish the chalice with the words on the TV. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
And now we rise and join hands and arms across the aisles, creating an amoeba of connection, and sing our song of peace.